I happened to be in the hospital when a young couple, my parishioners, gave birth to a baby boy. And by the way the nurses were acting, we thought there might be some issue. And then the doctor came out, said the baby had a problem. What kind of problem? A condition. The brain that won't allow the motor skills to properly develop. Most certainly the child will grow up physically handicapped and possibly mentally handicapped as well. But the child had a respiratory problem as well, so maybe if we just stand back, the problem will go away. Well, the doctor was suggesting that they step back and not help the child with its respiratory problem and that it will die. The doctor knew that many parents would choose this option because they did not want, were afraid of having a handicapped child. All of us, all of you would want to have a healthy, successful child. All parents want to have healthy, successful children. My parents were blessed with 2 healthy boys, and after we got our education, she proudly put our diplomas there in the family room, and when she received visitors, she would show them the diplomas and say, well, I have one son who's a doctor and another who's a lawyer and a priest. But the words of the doctor today, the suggestion that they let the baby die, calls to mind the verse from the St. James today, where selfish ambition exists, there will be disorder in every vile practice. You desire, and you do not have, so you murder. And so what did they respond to the doctor? Well, the father of the boy said, a doctor, for us, baby is not a problem. We prayed for this baby, to have this baby. And he said, maybe with all what we've experienced in life and all the privileges that we've had, maybe this is exactly what we need now, what God is sending to us. The doctor said, well, studies have shown that this type of child places a lot of stress on the marital relationship, and sometimes the marriage ends in separation. The mother of the child said, doctor, you don't know us. We're Catholic, and we have the Catholic sacrament of marriage. I was very proud of this couple. They have the Catholic sacrament of marriage. Whoever receives one such child in my name receives me, and whoever receives me receives not me, but him who sent me. They accepted their divine vocation, their call to serve. They accepted what God had given them. And they could see that maybe the cross that was being given them would help them to grow in holiness, in humility, in service. Psalm says today, the Lord sustains my soul. I have God for help. I will sacrifice to you with a willing heart. Praise your name, for it is good. All things serve for God, for those who love God. And what did the woman say? What did the woman mean when she said, well, we have a Catholic marriage? Accept that child. And also that they will grow in holiness. Marriage is all about loving God and learning how to love God. And so 2 weeks later, the child, being on a respirator for 2 weeks, recovered its ability to breathe. They went home, and they carried a cross. And I'm sure they were terrified at bringing up a handicapped child and what would that mean for them and whether or not they could do it and the demands it would place on them. But they were not immobilized by fear, because faith and hope and love overcomes fear. They were filled with faith in God and hope of what the future held out for them and their child. Future of service, loving sacrifice, demands placed on them, how that would help them to grow and become holy. Following the Lord and accepting our cross doesn't make the fears disappear, but we overcome our fears. The power of God, the power of faith and love and hope are stronger than the power of fear. So they took that baby home, not as a burden, but as a blessing. Baby to them was a blessing. We remember the words of the gospel last week. If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me. For whoever would save his life will lose it. But whoever loses his life for my sake, the sake of the gospel, will save it. Let us not pray for easy lives. Let us not pray for successful lives. Let us pray to be faithful to the life that God gives us. And let us even pray that God will give us the crosses that we need to become more humble, to serve others, to stretch us, make us more holy, more full of the life of God. As we receive the life of God today in this, at the table of the Word and the table of the sacrament, as we receive that life of God, let us know that God is with us no matter what, helping us accept that cross as a blessing, the way to grow, the fullness of God.